Hey y'all, it's Quila back again. Okay, so I just wanted to continue the story on when we started living in the first hotel and how we switched over to the second hotel. You ready for it? All right, let's go. So, when we was in the first hotel, mind you, I told you it was Wood Springs Hotel, and we stayed there for a year. And I had my two dogs, I had my kids, and it was a smaller room, but at the time we never lived in a hotel before, so it was perfectly fine for us. It was narrow and it was cute. We liked it. It was quiet in that area. We lived in a different city than what we normally would live in because I grew up in the other towns, but this city was like I never lived out here before, but I worked out here so many times, so I kind of knew how to get around out here, but I never actually had a place out here. So when I moved out here, I seen a big change in what I was used to in the other cities that I lived into. I loved it. It was more quieter, it was more peaceful. The people wasn't as, you know, anxious and fast going like they are in the other cities that I'm used to because everybody, when you're driving on the road, everybody's rushing to get somewhere, rushing. Everybody's tailgating, everybody's trying to get somewhere fast. Nobody's paying attention to nothing. But this city that I moved to go to this hotel, it was so calmed down. It was people were nice. People were leaving spaces between the cars. Like you could literally have like two spaces or more, a lot more. Like you barely seen too many cars crowded in any of the areas out here to where you knew you was in a safer area. I mean, the other areas was fine too. I grew up in them, so it wasn't like they wasn't safe. It was perfectly fine for me growing up. I knew what it was. And this area, it was like a step different because it was a lot more peaceful, and I didn't have to have the feeling of people rushing around on the roads. When I got on the road, I didn't have to worry about um people tailgating me or people just clogging up in the traffic, things like that. I haven't seen any cluttered traffic since I've been out here. It's pretty awesome. But as far as the hotel was in the cut. It was like off of two main roads to where it was behind a bunch of trees, and it was able to be kind of secluded to where you could let your kids go out and play and stuff like that. So I saw a lot of people with their babies outside and playing, and they didn't have to worry about any predators or anything like that coming around to disturb their peace or anything like that. So it was really cool. I enjoyed the peace of the place. It was really cool for a starter. When it came to, we was living there for a year and I loved it. Me and the kids loved it. It was actually pretty cool. We had a lot going on because remember, I had two big old dogs. I had two big pit bulls, and it was more crowding because of it, because I had two big old huge large cages, those wire cages. I had two big ones in my in my hotel. So it was like trying to make sure we can get as much space as we can, being that this was a narrow place with two big old cages over here on the wall. We had a walk through area. Yeah, it was fine for us at the moment because we didn't know no better. So um it was pretty cool. We enjoyed it. The kids enjoyed it. We was able to do a lot of walks and stuff like that around there. My kids was able to walk around outside wherever they please, and long as nobody came and talked to my kids, we was fine. Like I don't want no grown man thinking they could talk to my child, things like that. Everybody was pretty peaceful around there. The only problem I really had was the management of the place. Like one, the for them to be smaller size rooms, I didn't care for the price of the rooms because it was a lot more than it should be for the actual size of the room. And yeah, I understand it's a business or whatever, but it was just like I'm paying way too much. I was paying just under $1,900 for a month, and I was just like, that's way too much for me to be paying just to sit there and stay in a room that's not really big enough for us to be functionally, comfortable. And it was just like the maintenance of it was like, yeah, it was quiet. The doors was locked all through the day, so where you couldn't get in unless you had your own room key as far as the hotel. And I love the security of that. Sorry, I have a cat. But as far as the security of the hotel, I love the fact that they locked their doors throughout the day and nobody could get in unless they actually had permission to get into the building. So I was just in love with that because I didn't want, you see things on TV, how people just walk up to your doors or try to break in and stuff like that. So I was just like not feeling having somebody be able to freely walk in there. I don't care if you're delivering pizza. I do not like having to be worried about the security of the place. And this place was always on it when it came to keeping the doors locked. So I really enjoyed that. But it was just other little things that bothered me. The staff, when it came to the office staff, it was like they was on separate pages very frequently. Like they didn't have a tie into everybody knowing the right information. They would say one thing and do another. If there was things that needed to be fixed, they didn't have a maintenance person. After like a little bit after I moved there, all of a sudden there was no maintenance person forever. It was like a whole year and I still didn't get things worked on in my house. The stove was messed up and it was just a lot that was going on that I was having to deal with. But I was, I was not trying to be a problem. I was trying to make sure I kept peaceful, and I was like, you know what, I can deal with it. I can make it work. And I just keep letting them know every so often that I see them or make my payment that, this stuff still needs to be done. And, I'll make sure I'm not showing them any type of attitude because I'm not an attitude person. I like to be peaceful and I like to be goofy. So I made sure I was pleasant, and it still was just like, okay, I still wasn't getting things done. I'm paying too much money to be having to go through these little minor things in this place. So one day, mind you, I was okay with living here. I was not even thinking about moving anywhere. Okay. So one day we went to another city that we normally would live in, and we normally go grocery shopping in that area. So we just happened to go in that area, and we went to Walmart. Now, next to this Walmart, we noticed that there was a brand new hotel that showed up because we haven't been in the area for a long time. So we noticed that there was a brand new hotel that showed up, and me and my kids was like, Mommy, let's go check it out. So we did. We waited for, now mind you, right when we first moved into the first hotel, that's when the whole pandemic thing started. We moved out of my house that I sold, and then maybe about 3 months later, all of a sudden we started hearing about this whole spread of whatever this virus is, right? So it started literally right when we got comfortable in the hotel. So when we came across this other hotel that my kids was like, we need to go check out, it gave a whole aspect of maybe there's other things out there that might give us more space and might be a cheaper price than what I'm paying for, or at least be worth the price if I'm going to pay that price. I wanted something with more space so we could be more comfortable living in it, especially when I had 2 dogs. So it came to a decision that I had to make. Should I look for another place, or should I just be comfortable where I'm at? Me being the person that I am, I could not just settle with that. So I ended up trying to go on Google and see what else was out there in the area and see what their prices was like. And I ended up finding a handful of hotels, and me and the kids, we just went out and just checked them out and seeing what the sizes were, what the difference was from the one we was in versus theirs, and what kind of amenities they would have, and if they allowed pets and things like that, and how much would it be if you had my pets. And I had to check out everything and what type of neighborhood and area it was in, because I'm just not going to move just anywhere, not with this, my kids. I have to have the safety and the security, knowing that the area that we're in, I don't have to worry about every time we go outside, is there going to be a problem. So we found some good handfuls, and we narrowed it down to, let's go check these out. And it turned into a few of them. I found out a few of them we couldn't even do anyway. Even though they was nice and there was good prices, I couldn't do them anyway, because apparently the city rules for that city was you're not allowed to live in hotels. You're only supposed to stay a certain amount of time. If you live too long, they will have to question you and the city will come down on you. So I was like, okay, scratch those off the list. So it ended up being that there was this one hotel that stood out, and I kept checking back with it. I even came in and I even discussed it with the manager of the hotel. He was really nice. He took the time to walk through it with me, show me the different rooms. He made sure he showed me the ins and outs. He made sure I took my time, and he allowed me to not be rushed to be able to make my decision. He didn't mind anything that I was doing, and I'm one of the people that I will linger just to make a decision because I want to make sure I make the right decision the first time. So he was up for it, and he allowed me to keep calling back to check it again, to just narrow down my decisions and stuff like that. Because after I go home and talk it out with my kids and stuff like that, and even my sister, I would call her and be like, "Guess what I did today? This is what this is about." So it was little things like that I would go through the routine of thinking about my decisions about it and going through the process. And it ended up being, I would call back the hotel manager and be like, "Can we see the place again? Just because I got to make sure I can put my things in these different places and stuff like that. I just want to make sure the sizing is right." I had to calculate things in my head. It was a lot. So he was up for it, and he was really nice. He helped me out a lot when it came to trying to make my decision, and I was still scared. I was definitely scared. I wanted to make sure I wanted to make the right decision, make sure it was right for me and my children, and not just saying, we're gonna go just because. But I wanted to make sure it was like what stores was around here, what places do I need to go to when I gotta go grocery shopping and things like that. I had to make sure everything was right. Is the land right? Is the neighborhood right? Is the area just clean enough for me? Little things like that. If my kids go for a walk, do I have to worry? Things like that. So it was perfectly fine. I was nervous. I'm always very nervous about everything before I make a move anywhere. I swear decisions scare the crap out of me. But if you talk to my sister, she'll tell you all day long, like, I could have the best idea ever, and I will sit there and terrify the crap out of myself just because I gotta act on that. So when it came to doing all this, yeah, the manager guy, he was there for me when it came to making sure I took my time to do it, and that he was there if I made the decision. He had everything already ready to go if I made the decision. So it turned into, yeah, we made the move. My sister came and helped us move, and it worked out pretty well because that's where we are now. And it turned into, right now, let me tell you this, we're at Extended Stay America. Okay, so I find out that this is a beautiful type of setting because, one, if you just walk in, this is the one thing that hit me first because I was just like, that's really cool. I didn't know anything about it until it actually happened, but I didn't, when the manager was trying to tell me about it, he was like, because I will ask all kinds of questions when I'm trying to find out something. And the one question I kept trying to ask him was, how much is it going to be per month or per week when you move here? And he was just like, you need to go online. You need to go online and find out through them. Go on the online thing. It gives you discount codes and stuff like that to where you don't have to pay the prices that is actually in our system now. So if I quote you the system price right here, it's going to be a lot more than what you would pay with them online. So I understood, but it was just like, I'm here to get a price and I need to know the price so I can be able to fully calculate what I'm going to do. So it was kind of bugging me that I couldn't find a price until I called the place and find out what was going on with online. And they walked me through the whole thing, and it turned out a lot cheaper than what I expected. And at the same time, in the first 90 days in this state, you pay for the taxes for the first 90 days of the room. And then after that, you don't pay no more taxes on the rooms at all. So that was really cool. So it was high only for the first 3 months. And then after that, it dropped down a lot. And I was all for it because I was excited to get to that point. And the rooms are beautiful. They're spacious. As far as the place that we live in, I don't know what the other ones are like, but as far as the one we're in, it's very spacious as far as compared to the one we was at Wood Springs. The one at Wood Springs was very narrow. It was longish, but it was narrow. But this one is more of a square shape, so it leaves a lot of space in the middle of the floor between the beds and where the dresser is, so you're not like literally having the bed right next to the dresser where you put your clothes at, your big dresser, not the little nightstands, the big dressers. So you have a lot of space. I literally can walk across the floor to get to my dresser. So it is awesome. And everything here has been perfectly fine for me. Like the guy that helped me make the decision for being the manager, he is awesome. He's still here. He makes sure I am fully taken care of no matter what I got to do, no matter what needs to be fixed. He is making sure he is on it. He makes sure he's, on his job. He's a great manager when it comes to running this hotel. People love him. If I have any problem, I always go straight to him because I know he's got it, because he makes sure everything's fully done and complete. And I don't have to worry. Like, yeah, you will have your things that go wrong in the place, because like there was one time when I had a leak in my roof and it was coming from the room upstairs. Their toilet was flooding and stuff like that. It happened twice so far, but at the same time, he was on it. He made sure it was taken care of. Even if he's off work, he would come in and make sure it's taken care of. So by the next day, it was back to normal again. He even assured me this time that it shouldn't happen anymore. So far it hasn't, but we'll hope it stays that way. But as far as the experience of the place, yeah, it's a hotel. Things happen. I understand. I get it. I do not have a problem with that. Long as it's taken care of properly and the management is a productive team to where everything gets done right, I am okay with that. You have no worries out of me. I will be on your side. Like, long as I'm satisfied, we are fine. Because if I feel like, we got a good communication on, then we're good. And so far, he's great. I have a better communication with this team on this hotel of Extended Stay America than I did with the other place at Wood Springs Hotels. The Woodspring, yeah, they was nice people. They all was pleasant as far as they were nice. I never had a problem out of any of them as far as attitude. I never had a problem out of that. But it was just like 1 minute, one person would say something as far as like what prices of what. And then I come back and another person's at the desk and they'll say something completely different. Or if something else was going on, it was like nobody was meeting up at the right spots to do anything right. And it was just like little things like that was just bothersome for me. But here, everybody seems to be on the same page. It don't matter who I talk to. They all pretty much know me by now. They know I'm one of the people that just, I have to have everything detailed, and I'm always pleasant and I'm always goofy. They know I love to laugh and all that other stuff. So it's a breath of fresh air for real. It really is when it comes to having a team to actually support this place like they should, and they are definitely doing their job like they're supposed to, and I love it. Me and the kids, I ask them all the time, do you still like being here? And yeah, they say yeah, they enjoy it. So that's how we end up here. So far we've been here since January. We moved in January to come to this place, and I love the move. So far, we was paying 19, almost 19, not 19 yet, but it was like 18.30 or 18.50 or something like that. We was paying at Wood Springs. Here, guess how much my bill is? 1 month. The last bill I just paid, and mind you, this is because of the discounts. When you go online and you book a room or book a stay, however long it is, the longer you book, the more discount you get. So when you book it, the reservation I have now goes from 2 months ago all the way up until the next year in March, and every reservation comes with their own discount. So it just depends on what they send to your phone and your emails. So when they send me stuff, I go and call them and I try to make sure if I can get the certain type of discount, and I let them know if the price is too high, or if there's another discount that I can get to make the price lower, and they'll work with you. They're really awesome with the team. I never had a problem out of them when it came to the online website, and so I make sure I get the best price possible. Let me tell you what my price is that I just got through paying for this past month and the month before that. This month in September, I paid. This is September 2021. I paid only 14. I can't remember the full amount, but it was like $1,400 and some change. And then the month before that, in August, I think I paid 15 and some change. And I think it's so awesome because no matter how long I stay here, I swear each month gets cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. So it's still high as far as going into renting an apartment, or put it like this. I never had a mortgage or a rent that was this high. So when I say, yeah, we're living in hotels and stuff, don't think it's cheaper to live in hotels. It's definitely not. You are going to pay for living in there. I'm paying this much just to be here for a month. And I wasn't even paying this when I was in my houses that I had a mortgage on. My mortgages never came over $1,000. And that was for both my houses that I had bought. And then when I was in apartments, they was only like 900 or maybe 700. I can't remember. It was so far back. But I've never paid this much. But the thing is I've always been working with Grubhub and Uber Eats and things like that. So I've always had a way to make the money, and I'm great at doing that job. I made pretty much my average before this pandemic started. I was out there all day, all night with my kids. We was on it. Like we was seriously on it. Like we wasn't playing. And I would be up there. I'll start the clock around maybe noon, and then I'll go until maybe sometimes like the clock will probably turn off around 10, but sometimes you still have orders after 10. So sometimes I'm out there driving on the road at midnight, and I was there for it. Like it wasn't bothering me, as long as I was not, in an area that just was really scary to me. But I was there for it, and my average was like the least I made in a week was about $700. In the full week, the best that I could make, I was making a good $1,100. So I would say I average around 1,000 per week. So I definitely love Grubhub. It's always my go-to. I still got the app on my phone. I haven't really been working. Once the pandemic hit it. Once the pandemic hit, I kind of backed off of it because it was more of me working and paying for gas money instead of actually paying for the place to stay. And that's when the PUA and all that stuff started kicking in for self-employment. So I just was like, okay, let me ride that wave for a moment and just leave the Grubhub and stuff like that for a moment, because I'm still too paranoid to go out there and be around people, and everybody's still catching this virus and dying from it. So it's just like, I'm just like, no, I'm not taking me and my kids out there just for us to get infected. Not doing it. And I'm very super protective over my kids and my family, and I'm just like, no, I haven't even seen my own immediate family, like my sister or anything like that, because I make sure we stay away from everybody. Nobody's coming through them doors, period. So, so I was able, with all this going on, to be able to still pay and afford this place. So no, we're not here because we didn't have a place to stay. We're not here because we couldn't afford a apartment or a house or anything. No, that is not ever the case. We came here by choice. We wanted to be here. I can't afford to be here. It's a lot more than what I would pay in a mortgage or a rent, as far as what I have already paid before. I don't know what other people are paying, but as far as what I was paying, because I was trying to find a way to get the prices down. So I will do whatever I got to do to refinance or anything like that to get the prices down. So as far as anything I had to pay for, renting or mortgage, this is actually way over that. But it's with this whole situation with outside going on, I'm able to afford it for now. Until now, there's a lot going on when it comes to trying to make sure I continuously be afforded. So far, this whole 2 years, I've been managing just fine. And then the PUA got cut off. So it's about to have some real serious changes for me and the kids, and I'm very nervous. I'm very scared right now because I'm trying to make sure we still have our home and be able to still stay here and all that stuff. So it's a lot that I'm dealing with right now. I'm very stressed out. I've been trying so hard to create an online business forever. I swear, forever. And it's just not working at all. Like, I tried so many things, like 1,000 things, and it's still not panning out to even help me at all. Like, not even 1 cent has been made at all. And I don't understand why. But as far as for now, the most I can do is try to stay focused and be peaceful as best I can, because I am really stressed out right now. Trying to make sure, because time is definitely running out. My next payment is next month, and I don't even know where that's going to come from. That's how serious it is right now for me. So it is what it is for right now, and I'm just taking it as I go. Each day is a hustle for me. It's a serious hustle for me to figure out what I need to do, because one thing I'm really scared to do is to go back out there and Grubhub. I got the app still on my phone. I can do it any day now. I would love to, make sure I still have it on there. I make sure I keep up to date with Grubhub so I can make sure I still have it just in case I have to. I have no choice to go back out there. But right now, I'm just like, it's still high on that whole pandemic thing going on out there, and people are still getting highly infected. It's still raising numbers, and I do not want to be in the public with people still walking around contaminated and stuff like that, and I don't want to risk anything. I'm safer at home. So it's like one of the things, like, I have a real big decision to make, and I'm running out of time because I'm desperately trying to create a business online. Nothing's working, no matter who I look up, no matter what websites I look up, no matter what information people are telling to say that all you got to do is this and this and it should work, and it doesn't ever work for me. So it's a lot that I'm dealing with, and it's very strenuous on my body because when I stress out, my body starts taking a hit. But it's a lot. So as a mom, of course, I try to make sure I don't show that stress because I don't want my kids to have to worry about things like that, and I kind of keep most of it to myself, and just make sure they have fun and make sure they have a peaceful time. And I keep the adult stuff to myself and try my best to make it work out because they rely on me and they depend on me, and I got to make sure I pull through on my side. So it's just like one of them things, like, I have no choice. I got to figure it out because that's what I'm all about. Like, since day one, I'm all about making sure things meet. That's what I've always been strong on. I make sure things work out. So that's what it is. So right now, I'm going to go because I got a lot of work to do on my computer. And that's my story for today. I hope you come back and see me soon. And I'll see you in the next story. Bye.